There comes a quiet moment in every life when the soul grows tired of looking sideways, tired of measuring its worth against faces it was never meant to mirror. In that moment, a gentle truth begins to rise. Your destiny does not live in someone else's shadow. You were not born to keep score of other people's progress, nor to shrink your dreams because another shines loudly. You were born to listen to the rhythm of your own heart, to tend to your own becoming, and to stand fully in the light of who you are. Today, I invite you to turn your eyes inward, to reclaim your focus, and to remember this. When you honor yourself, the world can no longer distract you from the power already living within you. Your life is not a race against others. It is a sacred journey of becoming who you were meant to be. From the moment you entered this world, you were given a path with your own footsteps already waiting on it. Yet so often, we turn our heads to watch how fast someone else is moving, how far they have gone, how loudly they are celebrated. In doing so, we forget the holiness of our own pace. Growth is not hurried, and purpose does not answer to comparison. When you begin to understand that your journey is personal, intentional, and divinely timed, you free yourself from the unnecessary weight of competition. Focusing on others slowly drains the spirit. It teaches you to doubt your progress, to question your worth, and to feel behind even when you are exactly where you need to be. You start measuring your life with someone else's ruler, never realizing it was never designed to fit you. But when you turn your attention back to yourself, something shifts. Your energy returns. Your clarity sharpens. You begin to see that your only responsibility is to grow from who you were yesterday, not to outrun who someone else is today. There is power in tending to your own inner world. When you focus on healing your wounds, sharpening your gifts, and nurturing your dreams, you stop being distracted by the noise outside of you. You learn that self-focus is not selfishness, it is survival. It is choosing to water your own roots so you can stand tall regardless of the storms around you. When you know who you are becoming, the achievements of others no longer intimidate you. They simply inspire you without stealing your peace. Comparison has a way of silencing gratitude. It blinds you to how far you've come by obsessing over how far someone else appears to be. But every life has chapters the audience never sees. Every success carries unseen struggles, and every delay carries hidden lessons. When you focus on yourself, you learn to honor your process. You learn patience with your growth and compassion for your mistakes. You realize that progress does not always look loud. Sometimes it looks like quiet strength, steady faith, and showing up again. As you continue forward, let your eyes remain on your own becoming. Celebrate your small victories. Respect your limits. Trust your timing. The more you invest in yourself, the less the opinions and paths of others will control you. You will move with confidence, not because you are better than anyone else, but because you are finally rooted in who you are. And when you focus on yourself fully and fearlessly, you do not just move forward, you rise, grounded, graceful, and free. When you focus on others, you slowly give your power away without realizing it. Your thoughts become crowded with questions that were never meant for you to answer. Why them? Why not me? Why faster? Why easier? Each question pulls a little more strength from your spirit until your own dreams begin to feel heavy. Energy is sacred, and where you place your attention is where your life begins to lean. When your eyes are fixed on others, your hands forget how to build for yourself. But the moment you turn inward, something ancient awakens. Focusing on yourself is like coming home after a long journey of distraction. You begin to hear your own voice again, steady and wise. You remember what excites you, what heals you, what moves you forward. Power is born in that remembering. It rises when you stop chasing approval and start honoring your truth. It grows when you invest your time in your own learning, your own healing, your own becoming. There is a quiet strength that comes from minding your own path. It teaches discipline, patience, and self-respect. You learn that not every door is meant for you, and not every success story is a blueprint for your life. Your power sharpens when you stop reacting to what others are doing and start responding to what your soul needs. You become less shaken by noise and more anchored in purpose. In that space, confidence is no longer borrowed, it is built. Focusing on yourself also means accepting responsibility for your growth. It means understanding that no one else can live your life for you or fulfill your potential on your behalf. This realization is not heavy, it is liberating. You stop waiting for permission, validation, or perfect conditions. You begin to move, even when the steps are small, because they are yours. And every step taken with intention strengthens the muscles of self-trust. As your focus deepens, comparison loses its grip. The success of others no longer feels like a threat because you are no longer measuring your worth through someone else's progress. You understand that power does not shout, it stands. It stands in consistency, in self-belief, in the courage to keep going even when no one is watching. You begin to protect your energy fiercely, knowing that peace is more valuable than applause. In focusing on yourself, you do not shrink your heart. You expand it. You become more compassionate, not only toward yourself, but toward others, because you are no longer competing for space. You recognize that everyone is carrying a different load, walking a different road, learning different lessons. And in that understanding, you rise, not above others, but into yourself. Grounded, focused, and powerful, you learn this truth at last. When your attention belongs to you, your life finally does too. Comparison slips into the mind quietly, dressed as motivation, pretending to push you forward while it slowly steals your peace. It convinces you to look at another life and believe you are lacking, even when your own journey is full and unfolding. The danger is not seeing others succeed. The danger is forgetting yourself while watching them. Joy cannot survive where constant measuring lives, because comparison keeps your eyes on what you are not, instead of honoring what you are becoming. Self-awareness, however, brings you back to solid ground. It teaches you to observe your thoughts without letting them rule you. You begin to notice when comparison arises, and instead of feeding it, you gently release it. You understand your strengths, your weaknesses, your needs, and your limits. This awareness does not judge you, it guides you. It whispers reminders that your life is shaped by different lessons, different timing, and different purpose. And that difference is not a flaw. When you grow self-aware, peace begins to settle into your spirit. You stop chasing definitions of success that were never yours to begin with. You learn what truly fulfills you, not what looks impressive from the outside. Peace grows when your goals align with your values, when your actions match your truth, and when your dreams reflect your own voice instead of borrowed expectations. In that alignment, joy becomes steady, not fragile. Comparison demands that you rush, but self-awareness teaches patience. It helps you recognize that growth cannot be forced and healing cannot be hurried. You learn to respect your process even when it looks slower than someone else's. You realize that every pause has purpose and every delay carries wisdom. Instead of criticizing yourself for where you are, you begin to appreciate the lessons shaping you for where you are going. As self-awareness deepens, gratitude naturally follows. You start noticing your progress instead of dismissing it. You acknowledge the strength it took to survive what you've already overcome. Gratitude softens the heart and sharpens the mind. It reminds you that joy is not found in having more than others, but in recognizing the value of what you already hold. In gratitude, peace becomes rooted. With peace comes freedom, the freedom to admire others without envy, to learn without copying, and to grow without comparison. You no longer feel threatened by someone else's light because you are finally standing in your own. You understand that joy multiplies when it is shared, not compared. And so you walk forward lighter, calmer, and more centered. In choosing self-awareness over comparison, you choose peace over pressure. You choose clarity over chaos. You choose yourself. And in that choice, joy is no longer something you chase. It is something that quietly lives within you, steady and unshaken. Growth begins the moment you stop watching other people's lanes and start walking confidently in your own. The road meant for you requires your full presence, not distracted glances to the left or right. Every time you pause to study someone else's pace, you interrupt the rhythm of your own steps. Your journey asks for trust, and trust cannot grow where constant comparison lives. When you choose to stay in your lane, you give your life permission to unfold naturally, honestly, and with purpose. There is confidence that only comes from commitment to your own path. It is not loud or boastful, it is quiet and steady. It shows up when you keep going, even when no one applauds, even when progress feels invisible. Walking your own lane teaches you resilience because you stop borrowing direction from others. You begin to rely on your inner compass, learning that clarity is built through movement, not observation. Each step forward, no matter how small, strengthens your belief in yourself. Watching others can create the illusion that their road is smoother, their journey easier, their destination closer. But you are only seeing fragments, never the full story. Every path carries obstacles, sacrifices, and moments of doubt. When you focus on your own lane, you stop romanticizing other lives and start honoring the truth of your own. You realize that struggle is not a sign of failure. It is proof that you are growing. Walking confidently in your lane also means accepting that your pace may not match anyone else's. Some seasons demand speed, others require stillness. Confidence grows when you stop apologizing for your timing. You learn that arriving later does not mean arriving unprepared. Often it means arriving wiser, stronger, and more grounded. Your lane teaches you patience, and patience teaches you trust. As you stay focused, distractions lose their grip, opinions soften, expectations fade. You become less concerned with being seen and more committed to becoming. There is freedom in that shift. Freedom to make mistakes without shame, to change direction without guilt, and to evolve without explanation. Growth flourishes when you allow yourself to be a work in progress. Walking your own lane also deepens self-respect. You begin to protect your energy, knowing it fuels your progress. You choose alignment over approval and purpose over popularity. You stop trying to prove yourself and start honoring yourself. In that space, confidence is no longer fragile. It is rooted. Over time, you'll notice something powerful. The more faithfully you walk your lane, the clearer it becomes. The doubts that once followed you grow quieter. The fear of missing out is replaced by gratitude for being exactly where you are. You begin to understand that your lane is not limiting you, it is shaping you, and so you continue. Eyes forward, heart steady, steps intentional. You no longer rush to catch up or slow down to fit in. You move in alignment with who you are becoming. That is where true growth lives, not in comparison, not in competition, but in the courage to walk your own path with confidence, grace, and unwavering faith in yourself. You do not need to shrink or rush just because someone else seems ahead. The illusion of being behind is often created by looking at lives from the outside, forgetting that timing is personal and progress is layered. What looks like delay may actually be preparation. What feels like slowness may be strength gathering itself. Your life is not late, it is loading meaning. When you rush to match someone else's speed, you risk missing the lessons meant only for you. Shrinking yourself is another quiet harm comparison teaches. You begin to speak less, dream smaller, hope cautiously, all because someone else appears more confident or more accomplished. But your voice was never meant to echo another's volume. Your light was never meant to dim so others could shine comfortably. Every time you make yourself smaller to fit into someone else's timeline, you deny the fullness of who you are. Growth requires space, and you deserve to take up that space unapologetically. Rushing steals joy from the journey. It turns milestones into burdens and progress into pressure. When you rush, you stop savoring what you are building. You overlook the courage it takes to keep going, the resilience it takes to start again, and the wisdom earned through patience. Life is not impressed by speed. It is shaped by intention. Moving fast without alignment only leads to exhaustion, not fulfillment. There is dignity in moving at your own pace. A steady step rooted in self-trust carries more power than hurried movement fueled by fear. When you honor your pace, you learn to listen to your needs, your limits, your intuition. You stop forcing outcomes and start allowing growth. In that allowing, peace replaces pressure and confidence replaces doubt. You begin to understand that your pace is not a weakness, it is a signature. Someone else's progress does not subtract from your potential. Their success does not cancel your becoming. There is room for many stories, many victories, many moments of arrival. When you release the urge to compete, you reclaim the freedom to create. You realize that life is not a ladder with limited rungs, but an open field with endless paths. You are not meant to chase, you are meant to cultivate. As you stop shrinking and rushing, you start standing firmly in who you are. You make choices from clarity instead of comparison. You pursue goals that resonate with your soul, not goals that simply look impressive. This alignment brings a calm confidence that cannot be shaken by someone else's timeline. You move with purpose, not panic. Eventually, you will look back and understand why your journey unfolded the way it did. You will see that the pauses protected you, the delays shaped you, and the slower moments strengthened you. You will recognize that you were never behind, you were becoming. So walk forward without apology. Take your time without guilt. Expand without fear. Your life is not asking you to hurry or hide. It is asking you to arrive fully, honestly, and in your own time. Healing, success, and purpose bloom when your attention turns inward, because the work that truly changes your life happens quietly inside you. Healing begins when you stop asking the world to fix what only self-honesty can mend. It starts when you allow yourself to feel without judgment, to rest without guilt, and to acknowledge pain without letting it define you. Turning inward is not avoidance, it is courage. It is the brave decision to face yourself fully and choose growth over denial. When your focus lives within, healing becomes intentional. You begin to notice the patterns that no longer serve you, the habits born from survival rather than desire. Instead of blaming circumstances or people, you start listening to what your experiences are trying to teach you. Healing is not about erasing the past. It is about understanding it well enough to stop repeating it. In that understanding, wounds soften, strength deepens, and peace finds room to grow. Success also changes its meaning when attention turns inward. It stops being about validation and starts being about alignment. You no longer chase goals to impress others. You pursue paths that fulfill you. Success becomes waking up proud of your effort, grounded in your values, and honest about your purpose. It looks like consistency when motivation fades, and integrity when shortcuts appear. Inward focus teaches you that true success is built, not displayed. Purpose is not found by watching others live their lives. It is discovered by paying attention to your own. When you listen inwardly, you recognize what energizes you and what drains you. You learn where your compassion is strongest and where your curiosity naturally leads. Purpose does not shout, it whispers. It asks for stillness, reflection, and trust. When you quiet the noise of comparison, purpose finally has space to speak clearly. Turning inward also builds resilience. You become less shaken by external opinions because your sense of self is no longer outsourced. You learn to validate your own progress, to encourage yourself when the road feels long. Resilience grows when you trust yourself enough to keep going without constant reassurance. Inward focus teaches you to become your own anchor, steady even when the world feels uncertain. As healing deepens, success aligns, and purpose clarifies, your life begins to feel more intentional. You move with awareness instead of impulse. You choose growth over reaction. You protect your energy because you understand its value. This inward attention does not disconnect you from the world. It strengthens how you show up in it. You give more honestly because you are no longer depleted. In time, you realize that everything you were seeking outwardly, peace, confidence, direction, was always waiting inside you. By turning inward, you did not lose the world. You found yourself within it. And from that place, healing becomes ongoing, success becomes meaningful, and purpose becomes something you live, not something you chase.